Hey y'all, this is David with Liberty Suppressors, and today we're going to go over how to clean a silencer. Okay, before we get started, one thing you got to do before you clean your silencer, and that's be safe. We're going to do basically two things here. One, we're going to make sure that the firearm in question is unloaded, and we're going to look in the chamber and we're going to look through the mag well to make sure there are no cartridges in this firearm. Now that we've determined the firearm is safe to handle, then we're going to remove the silencer from it. Now we can set the firearm aside for its own cleaning regimen in a little while, and now we can get on to the business of cleaning the silencer. Some of the things you're going to need to clean your suppressor are the same sorts of things you need to clean your firearm. That would be cleaning solvent, an assortment of brushes. I have a stainless brush here and then a plastic, and this is the classic M16 toolkit brush that comes in the military toolkits. Some type of tool to scrape the carbon buildup with. This is just a small screwdriver. You could use a pick or an awl or a scribe, anything that's got a sharp edge on the tip just to scrape some carbon buildup with. This works well for us. A little bit of oil never hurts anything. And then a couple of old cleaning cloths. These are from, just cleaning all sorts of stuff. These are those disposable shop rags, but, just some cleaning cloths. And that's all you really need as far as special equipment goes, as far as cleaning equipment goes, actually. Special equipment would be silencer specific, and that would be sometimes there's a special tool that might be involved in the disassembly of the suppressor. But as far as cleaning goes, this is all you need, just to let you understand what's happening here. I never like to just leave my firearm or my silencer just on the counter because you'll spill solvents and things, so I always lay down one of the rags to catch that. Now this is a regulator, okay? This regulator's been shot some, not a lot, but some, so it's got some dirt and some carbon buildup in it. And this one I'm cleaning at about when we would normally suggest you clean a regulator, which is every 200 to 400 rounds. And typically your firearm will be just as dirty as your suppressor, and you'll end up needing to clean it at about the same interval. So, kind of meter that. But with a regulator, I'd try not to go over about 500 rounds before I cleaned it. The tube and core tend to want to weld together with crud. The carbon and lead material will tend to want to fuse them together. So it's really a good idea to keep it maintenance pretty regularly. Now, the regulator has a unique feature. This overcap is actually held on with left-hand threads. So you screw it on to screw it off, literally. And that overcap should never be like torqued. It's hand-tied only. It's just to hold the tube in place. That's its only job. So you don't really have to super tighten the overcap. Now, like I said, this one has been shot some. As you can see, there's a little carbon on the hex there. And we can get into what that hex is about later. It's not for disassembly. It's for manufacturing purposes. But like as you see what I did, I put the core against the table and pushed down until the tube broke loose. Now, like I said, it's got some carbon. You can see there's some buildup here. There we go. And it's tight because there is some buildup in the tube. Okay, as we can see, you can see there's material on the rails. That's where it got in between the tube and the core. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get our brush. Actually, I'm going to use the stainless steel one because it makes it easier. Now, the deal is, you get up here on this front cap, you'll take your Cerakote off with the stainless brush. For us, that's not a super huge problem, but for some people, you don't want to take the finish off, so you just do what you got to do. I'm just going to put the cleaning solvent right on this brush. And this is just standard bore cleaner. As you can see, it's not super critical. All we're doing is getting the buildup off of the rails and the outside of the baffles where it comes in contact with the tube. We're just cleaning that surface so that they'll go together easy. That's all we're really doing. Now, up here, to protect that paint finish, I will switch over to that plastic brush. But I'm just using the stainless one here because it's more aggressive and it cleans it faster. You won't hurt the core itself. The only thing you'll injure will be the paint. Normally, I would recommend people wear some kind of like chemical resistant nitrile gloves or something to keep this off of your hand, as you can see here. That's probably a good idea. I've never had trouble out of it, but Lord knows there's probably some kind of medical research that says that this is connected to something bad. So, you know, there we go. Now the outside rail's clean. We'll just wipe that off. Oh boy, the sun came out. That's going to cause problems. It's going to overexpose every bit of this, isn't it? All right, now that I've moved out of the direct sun and I've got the rails wiped off, I just wiped off this groove with the rag, you know, just take your thumbnail and clean that groove out, and whatever, a tool will get in there too. But normally this buildup isn't like baked on and it'll come off pretty good. Here's another point. You don't have to get it surgically clean. You just got to get the buildup off that's critical to operation. Now, I've got a lot of solvent already on the rails in here and on the baffle faces, but these baffles have some buildup on them. And what I was going to show you is right in here on the regulator, there's a area right behind this blade where the carbon will build up. And I can't really show you well, but it's in there. It's hard to see, but we'll take a scraper and we'll just break that off. Normally I set it down and just scrape it until it breaks loose. There it goes. And that's all you really got to do there. And now that you've broke that carbon loose, that buildup, you might say, you just want to get that loose so that it doesn't cake up and weld the tube to the core. That's the goal. And it'll start here and it'll work its way across before it's over with. There we go. See that stuff that's broke off? That's the kind of stuff you're trying to eliminate. Now, once you've done that and got off the bulk, like I said, it doesn't have to be surgically clean. The balance of the surfaces just need a light scrubbing to get the loose carbon off of them. You can use a bore brush for this too on a little short rod. Works fine. Doesn't matter. You don't, like I said, these don't need to be surgically clean. You just need to get the loose material off of them. And there's leftover solvent from when I cleaned the outside of the rails that's on the baffles. So I'm just able to rub them down. There's another wonderful thing about this is you don't have to get it perfectly dry either. You can leave some of the solvent in here. Hops number 9 makes a really, really good ablative suppressor agent. It's kind of like shooting a wet can. So now that I've got all that scrubbed off, we're going to take the rag and wipe it off one more time. All right. I'm just going to wipe off these threads while I'm at it. There we go. Now, the core is done. Let's lay this over here so the wind won't blow our little rag up. This just needs to have these threads wiped out on the regulator. It's a simple thing. You just do that. And then wipe off the outside. And then down in this little groove right here, I'm just pinching my thumbnail into the rag, into this little groove, and making sure it's clean, because that goes up inside the edge of the tube, see? Like that. So you want that clean. Then for the tube, I normally just clean the inside with a little bit of solvent. I'll just get some solvent on my brush. And then you can use a bore brush for this too. Like a 12 gauge bore brush is probably a better tool for this job, but as you can see, just as long as what you're doing is you're cleaning it out. And then I'll take the cleaning rag, take the bore brush. You get it at the corner of the rag and this works better. Just push it through with the brush till it comes out the other side. And now the tube is clean enough. That's all it really needs. We'll wipe off the tube. Now, the suppressor has been cleaned. So what we're going to do now is I always oil these rails. I don't know, honestly, conclusively if it helps, But always rub a little oil on the rails. It makes the can go back together a lot easier, I know that. If you get any in there, it won't hurt nothing. All right, then you're gonna slide the tube over. And when it gets up here to the end, you'll line up one of these high spots with the groove in the front cap. Okay, there we go. And it just slips up in there like that. I always wiggle it against my palm to seat it good. And then if you want to put a little oil on these threads, you can. It won't hurt them. Now this is left-hand threads again, so I have to turn it the wrong way. Hand tight, and it's done. Now wipe off the excess. As you can see, there's a little bit of solvent that's on it now, and it's done. So that's really all there is to cleaning your suppressor. So if you don't mind, go over to our social media. You can follow us there. You can see what we do. You can contact us. You know, go to our website. We have an email subscription. You can subscribe to that. So until next time, be sure to keep your powder dry. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.